Welcome to the doom and gloom. It is very, very rough out there. The markets are crashing. Everything is down. Is it over? Why are the markets crashing? Is your favorite altcoin dead? We're going to look at the charts. We're going to explain what is behind this recent market dump. This is an emergency stream. I was out in the yard doing some yard work. I still might be sweaty a little bit, but people are feeling rough. I think someone's saying I'm officially homeless thanks to crypto. I'm sorry for that for you. We did predict the major move this morning, and there was a major move. All right, I'm watching Frankie. Looks like we might go a bit lower. Yeah, we're going to talk about what happened last time Bitcoin was in this situation. Altcoins were in this situation. It's going to be very, very revealing what is going on behind this. And we're going to talk about what happened in February and March and April, because that is the last time we saw a lot of escalation between China and between Trump. So we're just going to get right into it, folks. And not only that, I'm going to let chat choose what altcoin we're going to convert into, or Bitcoin. Not going to be Litecoin, not going to be Bitcoin Cash. I just had little stable coin on the sidelines, folks. We did a PayPal video. And are we going to buy Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, or Chainlink? We're going to get into that a little bit later. I don't want your predictions just yet, but you will decide what we're going to be buying on this dip. I wish I had those buy orders set, but might put in a little bit. We got some dry powder on the sidelines for the moments like this. Now, the markets are crashing. Obviously, the altcoins are dumping. This is just the top 100. Looking at the major losers, Caspa is down 40%, WorldCoin down 33%, ARB down 32%, VeChain down 32%, Say 31% dump today. Algorand, I know there's some Algorand holders out there, down 30%. Crow is down 30%. Ondo, we rotated out of Ondo not that long ago, and Ondo is down 30%. But it doesn't matter if you don't reveal what you rotated into. We did rotate into Chainlink, so Chainlink beating it a little bit. So we're feeling, I guess, okay on that one. Aptos is down, Pump.Fun is down, Pepe is down, Athena down, Cardano, major moves here, and potential spam. Thank you, Coinbase scam. All right, SWI is down 25, but let's just look at the reasoning behind the rationale between the lines here. This is what it boiled down to. Trump to hit China with an additional tariff here, 100%. And we were talking about this morning. The tariffs were escalating because of the Chinese restrictions here on the rare earth elements, and things moved up very, very quickly. We're going to read Trump's post that basically nuked the markets here. Took a little bit. Now the leverage is basically just getting wrecked. I would not be recommending, trying to trade this right now. It's a scam. Now let's read a couple comments. Scam, couldn't even buy the dip. Oh man, that's a normal thing in crypto. Not all orders are gonna basically stay open. All right, Bitcoin, ETH, gold, those are going to be the major movers. Something is not right. We're going to read what happened, talk about all transactions failing on all the apps. Well, maybe our PayPal or PYUSD will be able to be converted. I haven't even tried yet. So again, not just all coins, good call on Bitcoin. Might have to just rotate into Bitcoin. Now is going to be the time to maybe, increase that exposure here. Someone got some more ADA, someone got some more XRP, and there's an XRP holder right there. It's the damn game to the president. He needs to shut his mouth. I'm just going to quietly take a sip on that one. All right, Aster down crazy as well. Let's see here. Being bearish on Ondo just because you rotated out of it. Josh is still bullish. Channel can be confusing on times. Well, Josh hasn't been on in a while, but all I can do is tell you what I'm doing in my trading journey here. Trump needs to be quiet and let the market actually work. Let's read into what happened here. I got all the pertinent details. This is from the Wall Street Journal, and this article is about 1 hour ago. 1 hour and 4 minutes ago. So this is from Wall Street Journal. Trump to hit China with additional 100% tariff, citing restrictions on the rare earth elements. Now, we got the details on everything here. So Trump said Friday he would hit China with the 100% additional tariff and impose new export controls on critical software products after Beijing placed new restrictions. Whoa, that was a lot. New restrictions on the export of the rare earth minerals. So Beijing, this is kind of what we were covering this morning. They placed those restrictions on the export of these rare earth minerals, these very important minerals for very important infrastructure. Now, this new measure is going to take effect November 1st, Trump said in a Truth Social post, which came after his earlier threats of retaliation, and it sparked a market sell-off that sent the S&P 500 to its worst day since April. We're going to look at the April activity with Bitcoin as well, kind of give us a blueprint. But let's read Truth's post here. I've just been learned that China has taken an extraordinarily aggressive position on trade and sending an extremely hostile letter to the world, stating that they were going to, effective November 1st, impose large-scale export controls on virtually every product they make, and some not even made by them. This affects all countries without exception. It was obviously a plan devised by them years ago. It is absolutely unheard of in international trade and a moral disgrace in dealing with other nations, based on the fact that China has taken this unprecedented position, speaking only for the USA and not other nations who are similarly threatened, starting November 1st, 2025, or sooner, depending on further actions or changes taken by China. That's why there's going to be a lot of volatility in the markets. We don't know where this tit for tat is going to be heading. The United States of America will impose a tariff of 100% on China, over and above any tariff they're currently paying. Also on the 1st, we impose export controls on any and all critical software. Now, this critical software is going to be part of a larger theme here, which is why China is pissed off. So we know why Trump is pissed off. It's about these minerals. It's about these exports. But why is China pissed off? What is creating this situation? We have to go further upstream. Now, it is impossible to believe that China would have taken such an action, but they have, and the rest is history. Thank you for attention to this matter. Now, let's get back into this article here. Average U.S. tariffs on goods from China currently stand around 57%. Now, Trump's action, if implemented, would push them above 150%. This is the highest point they've been during his presidency. So you remember the tariff war earlier in the year. We're now exceeding those levels, albeit not by much here. Trump earlier this year imposed tariffs of 145% on China before paring them back after a series of meetings with officials from Beijing. Chinese tariff on American goods are around 33%. Now, his move comes in response to the announcement this week of a new export restrictions on rare earth minerals. These are critical components of products such as semiconductors, electrical vehicles, and jet fighters. China dominates, oh man, this is literally what we were talking about this morning, dominates processing capabilities of rare earth minerals, giving it leverage over the U.S. and other nations. So this is what I was talking about this morning. Sure, there's going to be huge pockets of lithium over there, nickel over here, cadmium, all these, more rare earth minerals. They all have to be sent to China. India has a little bit of a presence, but China dominates essentially the engineering of these into usable products. You can't just pull it out of the earth and put it in your Tesla. That's not how it works. It has to go to a very destructive to the earth. It's a very pollution heavy process, depending on how much, you're trying to save. China's trying to do it very cheap. They're doing, that's why they're leading the world here. And so when you process these capabilities for these rare earth minerals, that gives you a lot of leverage. Now, we're going to talk about China's leverage here. Trump earlier suggested an expected meeting with Xi Jinping at the upcoming APEC summit in South Korea. This is a very important, a lot of eyes were going to be on this meeting here. This is no longer going to go forward in response to China's move. I was set to meet Xi in 2 weeks at APEC in South Korea, but now there seems to be no reason to do so, he wrote in a post Friday morning. This is before the post that he did about 2 hours ago. Now, the stocks fell sharply on Trump's earlier tariff threat, with that NASDAQ, which is going to be a closer corollary to crypto. It's going to be a tech-heavy index. Lost more than 3.5%. S&P fell 2.7%, and its biggest one-day decline since April. After market, they fell even further, but it cuts off at a certain point on a Friday, and then it's going to open essentially Sunday, late Sunday here. Now, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost nearly 900, stocks had previously recovered all of their losses from April and then set the record after recent weeks, with investors betting the worst of the trade war was over. So the investors, they're sending stocks to new all-time high. Everyone's feeling bullish. Crypto's at an all-time high. Gold's thinking that the worst of the trade was over. Now, we're going to talk about some posts here. We got some dubious speculation, and we got some memes where we're going to, try to bring some levity. First, we got to talk about the why here. So we got a little bit more on this article. Now, China's decision to strengthen its export controls were part of a calculated action to demonstrate China's leverage over the U.S. and force Trump to the negotiating table with a weaker hand. This was reported by the Wall Street Journal earlier this week. Beijing officials see Trump as eager to make the deal, but the Chinese so far have been unable to get the U.S. to agree to full removal of tariffs and export controls. This was a request made during meetings in Spain last month. And so earlier I was alluding, well, why exactly is the Chinese a little upset at America? Why are they getting more aggressive? Why are they escalating it, leading to Trump escalating it even further? Well, they've been unable to get the U.S. to agree to the full removal of tariffs and export controls. There's a lot of critical software, and a lot of it's going to have to do with chips. We've been sending them kind of hypothecated chips from a little bit older technology. If you look into it, it's they're about 18 to 24 months behind with the chips that we do give them. We kind of changed them a little bit, kind of to be better suited for today's AI needs, but they want that restriction removed. They don't want these restrictions on all of these chips, especially ones dealing with the AI. Now, China's action could have far-reaching consequences for the U.S. economy. Earlier, automakers they were going to have to stop productions in many factories if they don't get these rare earth magnets from China. They said it could be as bad as the pandemic. This is part of the leverage that China has. China knows they have this leverage over America. They feel that they have the stronger hand, and they're starting to play that hand. Now, their recent strategy was a notable break from the de-escalating tensions before high-level meetings. Chinese actions are both broad and targeted, signaling a more assertive stance. They're starting to get a little more aggressive. Now, back to the summit in Korea. A potential cancellation of the meeting would be a blow to Xi. His objective is to have continued engagement with Trump to manage the relationship. He's already defined the U.S.-China relationship as a long-term struggle, and his strategy hinges on using time to his advantage. This is the end of it right here. But this is the other side. This is from a China fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. This is going to be a defense contractor think tank. This is going to be more of a pro-American play here. Beijing may have overplayed their hand. What China saw as leverage, Trump saw as betrayal, and that miscalculation could mark the beginning of the tariff truce. So that's where we're at with the situation. This is the reason why we're seeing these escalations. This is why Trump is posting on Truth Social, tweeting out here. Chinese escalation, a lot of it having to do with these export controls, and now it's leading to more export controls, which has then led to broad, let's just say, tariff across the board here. All right, now I literally just lost 80% of my net worth. That you got to get, it is a lesson to buy more Bitcoin. It is a lesson to buy more Bitcoin. There's no longer a 4-year cycle. Well, you could say, if you feel that was the top, that was the 4-year cycle there. Massive Wick took out all the longs. That is right. Did a small leverage on Doge, got instant liquidation. It is what it is. Do not be trading with even 2x if you're in something that's a meme coin. I will say that if you're going to trade Bitcoin, and even then, super low leverage. But let's talk about that. If you were going to trade, I want to talk about some of the last times that we saw these tariffs and what did it do on the market. So last time we had these issues with China regarding a trade war, initial escalation February 4th earlier this year. Peak escalation is going to be in the beginning of April. If we go to the charts, you can see exactly when it happened. And then we're going to measure this, kind of compare it to today. And so around February, red day, followed by another red day, followed by another red day. Now also had peak, let's just say bearishness in the beginning of April. That was this candle right here. This is why you got to be careful, betting on the market being up only. We ended up having a really nice move to the upside. In fact, I'm going to go to 4 hour so we can get a little bit closer look at this April 7th data here so we can kind of just see where things are heading. April 7th, you can see a dump, finds a bottom. Things are feeling very bullish, and it wicks even higher. Remember, where it wicks, it sticks. Everybody starts getting bullish. Changes, starts ranging. Remember, it wicked here. People are feeling where it wicks, it sticks. It came down and basically wrecked everybody. Now, there's a lot of buy orders on the sidelines here. It got scooped up. It was Bitcoin around 75K. If you remember, people were calling me an idiot for essentially, I had a home situation with my driveway. I had to spend a lot of money. And I was like, do I really want to take money out of my bank account to spend on a freaking driveway repair? I took out a small home improvement loan. And then when there was that dip, I used my cash to buy crypto. People were like, you're a maniac for doing that. Obviously, in retrospect, it was a great move. I didn't catch the exact bottom. I think we got in low 80s, but still, we got in pretty good here. So this ended up washing everybody out, wrecking everybody. But I say, I want to compare it to today. So let's go back. I'll show you exactly what happened. So kind of just, we'll look at the lengths of the candles. I'll give you just a broad sense of what happened here. Initial escalation, deep red candles, peak escalation here. You can see, a large red wick there, large red candle there. Look at that one. Look at that one. That one is much worse. Anyone who's saying, oh, I know what tomorrow's candle is going to look like, they don't know what tomorrow's candle is going to look like. You see, easily just blasted right through that. This is just a previous point of control. What point of control? I have no idea what you're talking about. At this point, hitting the bottom of the megaphone is not out of question. It can easily hit the bottom of that megaphone. Alts, they got wrecked a lot worse. This was another, what was this trend line? Let's zoom out. Okay, this is just measuring this that symmetrical triangle, came down, retested. Did it hold any kind of support on a small time frame here? Little bit. So, I mean, there's people out here trying to trade this. There's people, trying to use TA. That TA works until that TA doesn't work. You can see it right there. I don't know when we drew this, but, zooming in, incredible. Oh my God. It also hit there on resistance. So again, the TA is working. People are, trying to trade this. Just be very, very careful if you are trading this. Now, we do have some tweets. I think I got to relog in. I want to know, what would you buy if you have some cash on the sidelines? Are you buying Bitcoin? Are you going to buy some? No, I'm not trying to do this. The login key. Are you buying Bitcoin? Are you buying ETH? Are you buying Solana? Or are you buying Chainlink? Now, the reason I'm doing that is I just have a PayPal, little stash of PayPal USD, PYUSD. We're going to convert this into one of these altcoins. What are you going to buy here, folks? What are you buying? This is just a little bit on a random account. If you don't fully self-custody everything and you do trust centralized exchanges, you should not trust only one centralized exchange. You should have them, maybe have a little on Coinbase, have a little on Gemini, have a little bit on PayPal. This is just a little bit of Bitcoin and ETH. That's all I have on this. But I'm willing to do Link if you guys are like just dead set on Link. Up to me. I'm gonna do Bitcoin, but this is the Disco fam. I want you guys to feel like you have a little voice here. Link, no, the 4 coins on the top. We're not buying Litecoin. We're not gonna buy Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, Toshi. No. This is just PYUSD that's been sitting on the sideline. All right, we got a lot of Link. We got some Bitcoin there. I know. I wish I had that buy order for Chainlink, Bitcoin, Litecoin. Let's do it. Finally, someone saying some Solana Link. Someone got some Link. Someone saying buy the King. Going to ahead. That's what I'm going to buy. Given the uncertainty of this tariff war, Chainlink. I mean, people are just going nuts on the Chainlink here. XRP. Yes, I know. People want me to buy XRP. It's not going to be XRP. This is what I just have with PYUSD, folks. We're just going to convert it. I'll do Chainlink, folks. I'll do Chainlink. All right, the Chainlink one. All right, now let's just do a little moment of brevity. We got some... Sorry. Leading with the first one here. Did someone kill Satoshi? What the F, man? What the F? That's what it feels like. That's literally what it feels like. Now we're going to have some hot takes. We're going to have some memes here, some jokes. It's just kind of, making you feel a little bit better if you're a little overexposed here. Link Marines. I gotta up my stash, man. Gotta up my stash. Just bought more Link under 11. Congrats. Link, no brainer. All right, people are happy I end up choosing Chainlink. I'm a little upset. The Bitcoin bull inside of me, he just died a little bit. It's kind of like the Grinch's heart. He needs to grow, man. And you guys are trying to shrink him, but it is what it is. All right, so I don't. Feels like someone killed Satoshi though. ETH, Ben Cowan called the bull market support band. I think this is going to be 21. What is it, like 21 week average to the I can't remember. I remember just looking at that video a few weeks ago. It's going to be roughly around the 21. ETH is now, it might be a 21 exponential and the 21 simple, but ETH has now dropped. So I'm like, what's the second number? ETH has now dropped 30% and is at its bull market support band. I think ETH can now rally to new all-time highs. So he's not saying, lying in the sand. I know it's going to new all-time highs, but if you've been following Callan's predictions here regarding ETH, Bitcoin dominance, I mean, he focused primarily on those, and he nails those, folks. Now, we talked about this, man. We talked about this. People shilling Zcash, not knowing that we go through this every GD cycle. We literally showed this post on the 3rd. When everything else is pumped, people go, oh, Zcash hasn't pumped and it's really cool. And then we all freaking die. Can we not do this again this time, please? Well, Zcash pump, and then we all freaking die. You're here. You're here. Smash the like button if you feel like you're here, folks. Smash the likes. I want to see these likes skyrocket, man. I literally put the shovel down. Yeah, I didn't put the shovel. I put the rake down. I did do shoveling earlier. I was shoveling earlier. I'm cleaning up my fire pit. Okay, I was cleaning up the fire pit after the sunset. It was getting lower, but 7 billion liquidated. Absolute insanity here. Guru, coin guru here. We all started learning how to speak Chinese, and then the entire altcoin market went down 90% in a single 5-minute candle. You know, in retrospect, you put it that way. In retrospect, now it's Cantonese, man. I know. Easy, $47 million profit in 12 hours. The whale that we were covering earlier. Does this guy have inside info? Well, it looks like maybe he was front running the Trump nuke. Now, we have some speculation on who this guy is. We have names, and again, dubious speculation. I'm not going to say I'm putting my bald cap on this one. No, but I do want to cover it. Again, this is breaking news, folks. Now, Trump announced massive increase on tariffs within 3 minutes. S&P, they wiped out $700 billion in market value. A lot of people are like, well, why didn't the stock market fall nearly as much? Well, in fiat terms, it fell an incredible amount. But now we get into the speculation, folks. Hyperliquid whale shorts ETH and Bitcoin with size. That's the whale we're talking about. 24 hours later, Trump threatens massive tariffs on China. Supposed same hyperliquid whale starts buying yes shares on Trump pardoning CZ on Polymarket. Weeks later, Trump drops the news of possibly pardoning CZ. We call this a little bit of insider trading, nothing too crazy as Dr. Axios. Now, so we have some names. Garrett Jin had one position open on Polymarket, has been buying for the last few weeks. Yes shares on Trump pardoning CZ. Now Trump's thinking about pardoning him. Jin is connected to the billion-dollar Bitcoin whale selling on Hyperliquid. And if you're wondering who this is one of the co-founders of Bit4X. It's a now no longer existing exchange. Again, dubious speculation, but if it's true, that is significant. I would say that's quite significant. That would mean there's definitely a leaky ship and people are trading on this. And now, I mean, that Garrett Jin's going to have to get a new wallet. He's going to have to get a new wallet. Raoul Paul trying to buy the dip. Yeah, I agree, man. Too rigged. Way too rigged here. So the guy who got into the e-shorts really did know something. It certainly does look like that. Remember, he appeared out of nowhere with $11 billion. And then connected to this now defunct exchange guy. Basically, is going to be an early Bitcoin builder whose product enabled him to get a lot of Bitcoin. And now he's fabulously wealthy here. He is CZ's lost brother. I am CZ's lost brother. Okay. CZ, you hear that? I want you to show up for Thanksgiving. Okay. I'll come over. Tell me where. I'm coming, man. All right. So don't do that. No, we don't sell the family. Now's the time to hang out with the family, get away. You know, if you got some dry powder, go ahead, get it in, just get out, man. Get away from the phone there. All right, now Raoul Paul desperately trying to move money out of the bank into crypto, near impossible to in any reasonable time. Anyway, still a gift. Link, this dump completely unexpected. He's been studying technical analysis his entire life. There was zero signs. If anyone saw this coming, you're a genius, because it was pure market manipulation, impossible to predict. So there you go. There's a couple takes there I wanted to share. Looking at the 5-minute chart, I don't know if the worst is over, folks. I did go to liquidation heat map. It's really not too much good information you can get in. I would say, keep an order on order flow if you are trying to trade it. And again, do not trade the altcoins. Only trade Bitcoin, everybody. Okay. And she said, okay, pack your bags. All right. Now, who had the money on the sidelines to buy this? You should have a little stable coin, man. Always have a little stable coin. We did a video on stablecoin. One of the main reasons you need stablecoin to get in the mentality of holding stablecoin. Otherwise, you're not going to take the profits at that bull market top there. So you need to get in the mentality of, even if you're at your most bullish, have a percentage of your portfolio in stablecoin. To move 50, you have to pay 50 on chain. It would not surprise me if ETH gas is just going nuts right now. Let's see. Do they still have it on the top of CoinGecko? Let's hit refresh. Oh yeah, I hit 100. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It'll go below 5, when there's no activity there. I was took more profits 2 days ago. Feeling sad. I feel that, man. I feel that. I did move some ape into USD on ape, and I'm like, that's just going to be a pain in the butt just to get it. It wasn't that much. I'll go ahead and say it. I got a mutant ape. They give me I have 2,000 ape that I'm staking to it. That's like 50 cents. So it was like $1,000. And I had some staking rewards. And my staking rewards was only like $500. So I got $500 of ape USD that I guess I'm going to deploy today. And it's like, God, I got to enable ape chain on my MetaMask. It's just such a pain in the butt. Let's see. You put some crazy limits on Aptos. All right. And you got them filled. That feels good. Robinhood crashes again. Why do we need money now? Just buy more. Next run, we go and be rich. That's what everybody was saying the first part of 22. Like, might as well just be here for the next one. I'm tired, boss. And then they just end up riding it down. Again, you got to have this stablecoin on the sidelines. Why did I not open shorts after the Chinese statement? There was so much time, and we knew that Trump would be triggered. Honestly, I think a lot of people just distracted with some of the other political issues going around in America, a lot of internal issues, internal strife, in addition to the high-profile political event that happened a while ago. You have situations going on with federal authorities. I'm trying to be very careful with my keywords here. You got federal authorities increasing their presence in cities like Portland, et cetera. And you have one agency now being backed by a second federal agency to protect the original federal agency, which is just ratcheting up the tensions. And a lot of eyeballs were on that. Meanwhile, we should obviously been paying attention to China. I was talking about the strength of China this morning. For the last 2,000 years, they've been the richest nation for 1,500 years. They've taken a break for 5 centuries, and now they're starting to roar their tiger head back. That's literally what I said this morning. I just didn't know it meant today. I didn't know it was today. That's all. I didn't know that. Everyone needs to touch grass. That's right. All right, well, folks, this was the emergency stream. Smash the like button. Just want to at least do about a half hour, hang out with you guys, let you know what I'm doing. I'm deploying a little into Chainlink because that's what you said. This is, again, just a little PayPal USD, PYUSD that we had on the sides. If you do want to trade, do not trade altcoins right now. Stay away from that. If anything, now's the time to buy some spot. If you do want to, spin that Aster airdrop, go ahead, convert, get some whatever you feel you have conviction about, and go higher up on the market cap rankings, folks. The lower you go, the worse it's going to get. Thank you for the support there. Thank you for the repost there, everybody. Sonic under 8 cents. Thoughts on ADA? ADA, I'm still bullish on. I think Midnight's going to be a huge catalyst for bullish attention, and Midnight's going to be ending pretty soon. Also, it does seem like USDT 0 is going to, it's a Tether affiliated stablecoin. Oh, I didn't even mention the crazy thing. It sounds like, oh my God, what is this bargain basement stuff? Now, USDT 0 is 8 billion, maybe approaching 9 now. Oh my God, that's always a good sign. Let's see here. 7. It's 7 billion here. Okay, let me check market cap. Oh wow, whales are making moves. This is just the past week here. Long term, I mean, this seems like it's trending up though. So this might be coming to Cardano. If that does happen, Cardano is going to explode. That thing's going to move. Let's see here. Love the dump. This was the time to buy some spot, dudes. Yeah, this is the last time I'm caught on the sidelines without limit orders. I posted that earlier there. All right, well, folks, we hit 30 minutes. I appreciate you guys hanging out. What's going on? I don't understand what the bearish catalyst was. Watch the beginning. We went over everything. Trump for Nobel Peace Prize. Well, my portfolio's feeling war right now. It ain't feeling no peace, I'll tell you that. Serious question. Well, I mean, Obama won 10 months in his presidency. Now, some would say that was a little early or premature. Let's see, I'm not here to wax on political. Let's see here. Serious question. You're going to get me going. Are alt holders going to get legit alt season at this point? I think so, but you know, for sure. A lot of people think this is going to be that last wick of Bitcoin dominance. And then now Bitcoin dominance is about to start dumping. Not like tomorrow, over the next couple of weeks here. What do you think of Bitcoin's next move? Again, just to reiterate, I don't want to reiterate too much here. I think what's going to happen is what's going to happen in April at the height of the tariff war. I think we're going to get a lot of movements in the price designed to wreck everybody. And so if you go long, all right, so let's just go through the mind of a trader. Tariffs start escalating February. All right, all right, green, we're going long. We're going long. Don't worry, it's a low leverage. It's a low leverage. You got wrecked. You got wrecked. It pumps too quickly. I'm smart now. Now I'm going to short. I'm a short, and you got wrecked. Okay, you got wrecked, and then you get wrecked, and then you get wrecked, and then you get wrecked. It's just going to do this for a while. Anyone saying they knows exactly what's going to happen to Bitcoin tomorrow, they don't know. They can give you a level above, they can give you a level below. It'll probably hit those levels. I mean, you saw our ETH TA. I mean, I drew a line. It's going to go to the line. Guys, I drew this line 5 days ago. When you zoom in on the 1 minute and it works, I'm a genius. No, everybody's looking at these lines. Everybody's looking at these lines. If you want to trade it, there's good trades to be had, but no one knows for sure what's going to happen tomorrow. So just be very careful. I do know if you try to trade an altcoin, you're going to get wrecked, folks. You're going to get wrecked. All right. So that's all I got, folks. We got to end on there. All right. I'll see you guys later. Hit the like button on the way out. Every like makes Bitcoin go up $1.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.